Hi, Kirsten. Have you heard about that architecture conference in Oxford at the end of the year?
Yeah, I saw the leaflet on the notice board. As it's my final year, I ought to try giving a paper, but I've got no idea how to go about it.
Oh, I think you should go for it. I did one last year. It's quite straightforward. First of all, you need to see what the conference themes are. What topics they are covering. You can do that by looking it up on the website. You need to submit a paper that falls into one of the categories they give you.
Oh, that may give me some ideas.
Then, while you're doing that, you should also have a look at the information on how to submit your paper. The rules, if you like, such as the length. It's important you follow those.
I see. And then I suppose the next stage is to start writing it up. I'd like to use it as an opportunity to propose some future work, but I understand it must be based on current work. Still, there's plenty to choose from. It makes sense to do something that I'm more familiar with.
Yes, and the other thing is, when you've written it up, then go back and look at your data carefully and make certain that you've presented it in a format that is standard for your subject. Remember, people have to absorb information very quickly while they're listening. Don't make it too complicated.
Okay, well, I reckon that'll take me about a month to get that sorted. Then the next thing I have to do, I guess, before I send it off to the conference organizer, is give the whole thing to the events officer so that he can look through it and see if it all makes sense and is okay.
Yeah. Remember to warn him that it's en route so he can fit it into his schedule.
Oh.
Then you're done, really. All you have to do after that is to go through it and sort out any changes you need to make. Then finally, you can submit it. You can do that online.
Phew, good. Then I just wait to hear, I suppose. How long does that take?
It depends, but usually about 6 weeks.
Oh.
When you hear if your paper has been accepted, then at that stage, it's worth giving them a list of any technical things you need when you actually give the talk. A screen or video players or that sort of thing.
Okay, but that's a long way off. And I know that if my paper is accepted, then at that stage, I have to give them a short text about myself and my academic background so that they can put it in the brochure. Famous at last.
Yeah.
Hi, Chris. What are you doing here? I thought you were supposed to be revising for your finals in the library.
Yeah, well, I decided it was time for a break. I really wasn't being very productive, so thought I'd come and have a coffee and some fresh air to see if that'd help. What are you doing with all those prospectuses?
Well, I'm trying to decide which university to apply to for my MA in music. The choice is really overwhelming.
Well, that certainly is a big pile of prospectuses. Maybe talking about it will help you at least narrow it down. I've got some time, and to be honest, it'll be a welcome distraction from my dissertation.
Great! Thanks, Chris. So far, the universities that appeal the most are the Academy in London, Leeds Conservatory of Contemporary Music, and the Henry Music Institute, which is also in London.
I'm not an expert, but wouldn't the Henry Music Institute be the best, as it's the one that everyone's heard of?
Well, yes and no. Leeds Conservatory of Contemporary Music is also pretty famous. And although the Academy in London is less well known, they've got some excellent modules on offer.
But still, it's always good to have a well-known name on your CV, even if Leeds Conservatory of Contemporary Music and the Academy in London are good. What about the entry requirements? That might help you to make a decision.
Well, funny you should say that, as I was just looking at them. The Academy in London requires an audition, as does the Henry Music Institute.
Leeds Conservatory of Contemporary Music doesn't?
No, they want candidates to compose a piece of music instead, before attending an interview.
Don't the others require you to do that? Compose, that is.
No, the others ask you to write an assignment, stating why you want to join the course first of all. But if I pass that stage, then I'll also have to attend a face-to-face interview, like the other two places, with the head of school. Assuming that goes okay, then I'll be accepted onto the course.
Right. Sounds tough.
I know, but I suppose it's for a master's degree, so I wasn't expecting it to be easy.
What about the fees? Are they all the same?
Well, surprisingly, the fee structures are very different.
Why's that?
I really don't know. But, for example, the Henry Music Institute is the most expensive, at £8,000 a year. Next comes the Academy in London, and the cheapest is Leeds Conservatory of Contemporary Music.
How much are they exactly?
Well, for a full-time course lasting 1 year, it's £7,000 at the Academy in London and £6,000 at Leeds Conservatory of Contemporary Music.
OK. Well, what other expenses do you have to take into consideration? Like train fares, for example. If you're going to be travelling home and back during the holidays, that's got to be a factor.
I'm not worried about that. Though insurance is an added cost, as I'll need to make sure my instrument is covered. However, all of them require me to send in a cheque for the charges for applying before they'll process my application.
Is that normal?
Apparently.
Can I have a look?
Yes, of course. Here you are. What is it?
Well, I think you might have a problem.
Why? What is it?
Well, it says here that the deadline is January the 9th. That's next week.
Where? Let me see. Oh, you're right. Which prospectus is this?
The Henry Music Institute.
Oh, no. What am I going to do?
Make your decision now?
Is the closing date the same for all of them?
Let's check. Look here. Leeds Conservatory of Contemporary Music is on the 19th, but the Academy in London isn't until the 30th of this month.
OK, I'd better hurry up and make a decision.